Jesus Christ, that's funny. I'm Ethan Moore, Jesus fan.
Hey, yes.
And that's Pastor Dwayne Black.
Yep. How you doing?
Satan fan.
No,
just kidding.
No.
Also Jesus fan.
Jesus fan. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, who are all these people that like Satan? It's weird, right?
I don't know. Yeah, there's the one guy who wants to keep going into the into the conference rooms and centers of the government to talk about and to talk and
Is
pray
that like
to
the
Satan.
The principalities and the powers?
Yes,
that's the conference rooms and inner circles of government.
Yeah, and the government's really scared about it. They're really afraid.
I never heard of this.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is. Lighthouse Point, Pompano, Deerfield, a lot of the local places. This guy says, well, if you're going to have somebody pray, then I should be able to come in and pray too.
Oh, is he like a LaVeyan Satanist, or is he a different kind of Satanist?
I don't know. I know that he has Pabst Blue Ribbon beer cans on his big staff.
Oh, he's crazy.
Yes, he's crazy.
Okay. All right.
How'd you figure that out with the Pabst Blue Ribbon?
It's weird when people have a corporate sponsor that they don't know that they're sponsoring.
Yeah,
that's always a sign, of something.
Yeah, that beer company's real happy about that.
What about that John 3:16 guy with the hair? Remember him? He would go to baseball games and have a wig on and hold up John 3:16.
That was yeah.
Is he crazy?
I don't know him that well. I don't know.
Well,
and crazy.
But it's interesting.
What does the word crazy mean
People don't
anymore?
definitely say that he's crazy, but we definitely say that the Pabst Blue Ribbon Satan guy is crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, that is.
But it's not because of Satan. It's because of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Blue Ribbon. That's it, right.
I guess that's how you know.
Well, some people really like that beer. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're
That's not what I would do if I liked it.
Yeah. You wouldn't make a staff out of it?
I would. First of all, Satan wouldn't be my opener.
That would.
I'd start with this is a great beer, or something like that. It's not like you should all worship Satan. By the way, have you tried PBR? It's coming back in the hipster scene, so get on board now.
PBR.
Before the price goes up.
I love that. That's great. I didn't never know that was.
That's what people call it. It used to be a big hipster beer when I lived in.
Really?
In college, I remember that. And then in Atlanta, there'd be bars where you'd go there, and that would be the main beer they would serve in a can.
Really? Yeah.
And yeah.
I've seen it up north a lot like that. That people, but now with all these like really, really good beers that are out there, people are going for those things.
Well, the reason people like PBR was because it was like there are microbrews. Yeah, of course it was cheap. So you're in college, you need something cheap. But it's like there's microbrews, but this is like. It's like so bad that it's good kind of thing. It's like that kind. It's like we ironically like this. And actually, I remember it not being very bad. I remember it being like a decent beer.
And actually, it is.
It's pretty good,
it's
right?
not a bad. Yeah, it's not. It really isn't. It's got a bad rep. That's all.
That's right. Jesus Christ, that's funny. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon and the Devil. Just ironically enough, the Devil sponsors our Jesus podcast. That's weird.
No, I had a guy call me for. He sits on the city council. He goes, "What do we do? Do we stop praying?" And I said, no. He said, well, how do we don't want to be sued by this guy,
Should we stop praying?
That was what he wanted. No, should we stop praying? Is that the idea? That way he can't come in.
I remember Norm Macdonald used to have this great joke where he would say, I don't know which religion is right, but I do know, but there's one religion I'm sure is wrong, which is... the Church of Satan. He's like, who goes around saying I want the second most powerful guy?
Right. That's beautiful. That's really good.
Yeah.
You like him, Norm Macdonald, right?
Oh, I love Norm Macdonald. He's my number one sort of inspiration for my stylistically.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think I also really like Russell Brand, but that more in terms of like the spirit of my comedy informs it. And then, I don't know, I probably have some other influences in there. Adam Carolla, in terms of like the radio stuff I do, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. I like comedic. And then Satan. He's actually number one, I'm going to say.
Put the Pabst down.
Yeah, well, I don't know why we're talking about the devil so much. It's just it's a weird thing that people worship. I don't think people really do that, by the way.
You really don't?
I think it's been blown out of proportion. It's one of those. What is it? What is that book?
The Bible?
No, no, the Satanic Bible. No, the book where they have all the witch hunt.
The Blair Witch.
I don't know. There's some book about when they think that all the women in Massachusetts are witches in some small
Salem.
town in Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think there was really any devils being worshipped there. I think they were just trying to crack down on feminine sexuality and things like that.
My sister was in a show called Salem. What was it? The musical.
Oh yeah, you talked
Salem
about that a few
musical?
weeks ago. You said there was Salem the musical.
Man, it was good. It was very funny. It was
hilarious.
It was very funny.
Women being victimized by
I don't think it was
patriarchy.
All women. They were all women in the cast. Yeah. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're taking it back.
But I do know somebody.
Take back the night for Satan.
I do know somebody who's been victimized by a Satan cult and a group of people.
Who?
Young girl that I counseled for a while, and she had been over a 3-year period. She had been molested and injured quite a bit. And
wait, what? Yeah. You mean like one of those stories that you used to hear about in the 80s during that?
Yep.
The McMartin trial.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a bunch of hooey.
No.
You're saying there's really are satanic cults that abduct children?
Yeah. For 3 years she was abducted. Yeah.
I'm having a hard time with it. Do we have evidence?
Well, she goes to she went to counseling for quite a long time.
I don't mean to question this woman's suffering or anything like that. I just really really I thought that really like most satanic cults were like sort of peaceniks. Really, they're not for they actually don't want to be hurting people.
This was a group of people that were really pretty sick, and they wrapped it around the idea of worshiping the devil. And
it's just an excuse. The devil gets a bad rap.
Is
That's
that what
I
it
say.
is?
Yeah, I think what it is if you want to go around molesting children, then Satan is a good cover. Well, we have to.
Because of
Satan said we have to do bad things to children. It's clearly right here in the scriptures that I wrote last night in my diary. Yeah.
Well, don't you? I mean, have you ever? When people start talking about the devil, don't you always kind of think, I've got enough evil stuff going on personally that is pulling me away. I don't need an individual to lay it on. It's things that you have to worry about, things that you have to try to figure out.
Are you saying when people talk about the devil?
I think they're talking about things that are going on in their own brain and head.
Oh, you mean the devil's like a metaphor?
Yeah.
I don't know if your superiors in the presbytery would
agree with that. Not some
would
of them. Some
don't they think that the devil's a physical entity?
No. We're not Baptist.
Okay, that's all right. That's the upbringing I had.
Yeah, no.
They said the devil's a real person, and this hell is a real place.
Yeah, I think that you probably have to. I think you probably have to be argued with the idea of what hell is, and a decision of what hell is, because I think hell is always.
Sartre said that hell is other people.
Sometimes.
Your congregation?
Yeah. No.
Just a few members.
Certain meetings.
Yeah.
There was, I think that was always the joke between some, pastors. It's like, if you don't believe in hell, come to the worship and music meeting.
Okay. There you go.
I didn't say that. Can you bleep that out?
Yeah, we'll get that right out of it. We're not taking it out.
Good.
We're not taking it out. Hell, the devil, I don't know. These things are... This isn't even the topic I had for today, but this is just funny. I don't know why. One thing that I remember always thinking was strange when I grew up was they would talk about in Sunday school. It'd be like, oh yeah, the devil is a real guy, and he's in hell, and he'll drag your soul down, all this. But then when you actually look at the scripture, and they would be like, and this is all true. Like the devil doesn't seem like he has any. It's not like the devil is gets to do stuff in hell. He's just being tortured along with everyone else, right?
Yeah.
It's not like the devil comes up with your torture. The devil is just another guy in there.
Right.
He's just another inmate.
Well.
No,
what is hell? What is hell? The absence of God, is it a physical place? No. It's, do I live in my own hell at times? Oh yeah. Do people live in a lifestyle that you go, that's got to be a living hell? Absolutely. I know people that
vegans. Yeah. No,
I don't know what they're missing so much.
Right. Flesh of animals. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're in trouble for saying that hell's not a real place.
Really? Why?
and that the devil's not real. Because that's the kind of thing that they would tell me, that if you said that, then you'd be like, they're probably going there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Denying the cosmic creation of God.
No. You know, that's one of the things you start to kind of struggle with, is that you have this God that's supposed to be all love and good and everything, but then
Who said that?
Well, it's scriptural.
What about all the terrible things that he would be like, go smite the Edomites and kill every last one of them, genocide them, he would say. Doesn't sound very loving.
I don't know if he said that. I think that's that, idea that we have a revelation of understanding God in different ways, that maybe that's not what God was saying.
Sounds like a loophole,
go destroy
Pastor.
them, go kill them. No, I don't think that's really what God was saying. But I do think it was a good
Pastor
excuse
Dwayne, the
at that
apologist
point.
over here. It's like, no, that's not what God meant.
No.
Well, maybe he meant it at the time, but he doesn't mean it now.
No.
Sounds very sketchy.
No, I think we our interpretation of God, our understanding of God, is always changing, and it is. We, what our understanding of God, in 2000 is completely different than our understanding of God, today. Even within the last 100 years, a drastic change.
But my
your
theology,
understanding of God's changed.
mine has, sure, but probably some of my theology professors would say that you can't just say God changes or whatever. Like, God confronts you with His divine reality. You don't get to decide.
Right. Yeah. So God does confront you with His divine reality.
Yeah, and that is
And you don't get to decide.
eternal and unchanging.
But you don't get to decide? So
No.
then, therefore, we are just...
You don't get to define God.
little
God
puppies.
defines Himself, and then you figure it out from there.
Right. And God defined Himself as saying,
Smite the Elamites.
I am.
And they're cows and chickens, too.
And
Lay waste.
do terrible things to their women. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that was God. I think that our
The devil?
understanding of God changes pretty dramatically. Especially from the Old Testament, which is, quite a long time, to the New Testament. There's a drastic change of our understanding of God.
What if you're Jewish?
I think there still is a big change of understanding God. I think that we went from legal, do this, do this, and if you do these things, then you have a relationship with God. To it's more of about a personal relationship with God, that there's a connection deeply with you. And within that, there has to be a connection between you and I, because we're all children of God. So, and I think that's always been one of the things that you've always brought out, is that you believe that something happens when people get together, that there's this connection between the two.
Yeah, I think that if whatever God is, if there is a God, if God is anything, it's something that we can define by using the word God, then
Right, yeah.
then it's has to do with the connections between beings, something like that.
Right.
And between like matter, even too, or like consciousnesses, or you know what I mean. Like, I think it's all just the space in between.
And I think that also probably one of the things I get a big kick out of
Relationality or something.
when you see people and how they relate to God, or their connection to God, throughout the whole Old Testament, you just run into people, from Abraham, arguing with God,
Right.
and to Moses, arguing with God. You got the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy. And so there must be something about this idea of arguing that God seems to be okay with. There seems to be this connection that God can handle that.
Yeah, he's my kind of guy. I like that.
I knew you'd.
Yeah, I like that. I like the arguing. That's kind of what this podcast is, really.
A bit.
We have a little bit of arguing with God and Satan, whoever, whoever wants to be on Emily, my mom, whoever comes on, we argue.
No, your mom agreed with everything I said.
She disagreed with me a lot. It was weird. Emily disagreed with me too.
Yeah.
We got to get some guests that like me. We have a bunch of Pastor Dwayne fans here.
That's good, man. So what was it that you were going to bring up? What was it?
It's too late now. We'll have to do it in the next episode.
Okay.
But let's talk for a second. Let's talk about. I want to talk about love. So that's in the next.
Yeah.
That's our topic for the next episode. But something that you just brought up was you talked about being confronted and having people argue, like, not me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Who said that? Like, Like Abraham?
Moses. Yeah.
Oh, he was like, talk to my tongue is stuck to the roof of my mouth or something.
I stammer.
I stammer.
You got the wrong guy, not
Yeah.
me. He take 2 chapters. He argues to say, no, you got the wrong person. You got the wrong person. And almost every writing in
2 chapters.
Yeah, for 2 chapters. He's like,
if I was God, I would have given him 1.
Yeah,
then that's it. You're out of here. I'm moving on to Aaron.
He's Jewish, and that and that's the beauty of it. There is a truth of arguing but God that draws you closer to.
Was
God.
that an anti-Semitic slur?
No, my wife's Jewish. What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, I like that idea, and I think the idea of being called, and that's something that let me just sit. We can just talk about this for a second.
Okay.
I was talking to someone about stand-up recently, and
Right.
about comedy, and this girl, and she was saying, oh, you just do it for your own ego, and like you're just playing around and things like that. And I'm like, wow, first of all, like we're not hanging out anymore.
That's right, exactly.
It's not acceptable.
Well, that was over.
Yeah. But I thought about it, and I was like, is that true? And I really, I think, of course I have an ego, and of course, that's a challenge for me sometimes. But, and of course I like doing stand up, but I thought about it and I'm like, wow, I wouldn't do this. Like if I had a choice of like what
Right.
to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I would choose doing stand up and doing.
Really?
Yeah, it's a cross to bear, and yet here's the thing. I do really feel like I've been like called to it.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Like I feel like it's not a choice.
What about improv?
I think it's all part of the same thing.
Same
like
thing.
that was like I felt like it was the right moment
Yeah.
to do it. I felt like there was just enough hot chicks in Miami.
That's
improv.
exactly
It was time to make that move. No,
I told somebody that they just laughed and laughed. They said that's the funniest thing I've heard. I said,
Yeah.
He's like an improv man, and just it's about the hot Latin women down there.
oh, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Hot women of every complexion and ethnicity. It's fantastic.
Spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you were called.
I do feel that way sometimes, all the time actually, and that's important to remember, because because there's not a lot of reinforcement you get from actually
Right.
doing stand up, especially in the first year or two when you're terrible, so you have to. So, but if you feel like I'm not doing this because I'm, because I feel like I'm gonna be cool,
Right.
or something like that,
Yeah.
it's like, no, I'm doing this because this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and yet I do enjoy it. I
Right.
actually do. I am like, oh, this is something that I enjoy, and I do like the sense of play, and I do like, I like the connection I get with
Right.
people. But it feels right, and so even when it doesn't go well, it's still what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So I'm still living according to that principle. So it's still rewarding in that sense.
Did you decide to use that girl's name who said that nasty thing to you? And every joke you have from now on, every female character in the jokes always has her name. That she said it was just about your ego.
I don't have jokes about women.
Oh, really?
They just make fun of themselves. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. That's a stupid joke. I wouldn't do that. That's a terrible thing to do.
Really? You just
No. I don't want to be vindictive. That's another thing you don't want to be in comedy is you don't want to be vindictive. You don't want to be, you don't want to come off like you're trying to be smart.
right.
You don't want to do comedy out of, you want to avoid politics. You don't want to do
Really?
I don't know. I don't like political comedy, as you know. Yeah, and try to punch up, not punch down.
Right.
Yeah.
But the first thing you mentioned to me when you walked in here was that Bill Maher.
Oh, Bill Maher. Yeah,
Yeah.
he put that picture of that woman that looks like Ted Cruz.
I haven't seen that. I'm dying to see that.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
She really looks like him, like especially around the lips and eyes and stuff.
And it's
yeah.
a she.
She looks like Ted Cruz. Her face is the same face as Ted Cruz. And apparently, she's going to be doing a pornographic pornograph. She's making a pornograph.
She's making a pornograph?
Yeah, you have to get out your Victrola pornography player for that. Yeah, and she's going to be 6 minutes, 6 minute porn clip.
Just
Which means she has 9 more minutes of fame coming to her. So
oh, it's horrible.
it's a math joke.
Horrible.
Yeah, this woman. So
yeah, but so you do like political jokes.
That's sort of just funny. I mean, there's certain things that are just funny.
Yeah.
Like this woman looks like a politician who's kind of a hateful politician.
Right.
So you're like, this is great.
This is
yeah. I mean, there's a certain amount of things that, I mean, there's a reason that people do punch down, you know, and they do comedy that's mean-spirited, is because it's fun to be mean-spirited sometimes. And I'm not saying I usually say you shouldn't be mean-spirited in comedy, but I don't say that it's not fun to do it. And I don't say that there isn't sometimes a place for it.
But isn't it just easy? It's the easy way.
It's easy.
Out.
That's one reason why you shouldn't do it, is because it's too easy. But you know, there's a certain element, but you could do it to get somewhere else. You know, like, what's the greater point? That's what I would ask if I see someone who's punching down. Like if someone has an abortion joke or a joke about, women or what, I don't know, these terrible jokes people say, rape or something. I mean, like, what's the deeper point?
So they're trying to get to some other place. So they're going from A to B.
Right. If you're doing a rape joke, you're trying to get to bestiality, for example. No.
Did you say bestiality?
Isn't that how you pronounce it? I had an argument with someone about this.
I thought it was bestiality.
Well, I know it's the best.
It's the best.
It's BEST. Yeah. So isn't it bestiality when you're giving into your bestial instincts?
Is that what it is?
I mean, that's a word, bestial.
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to look that up a little bit.
Well, that brings us to the end of.
Yeah, that was great.
So glad we went there. Well, I want to talk about love in the next episode.
Next one. Yep.
The reason is because it came up that, well, how about a cliffhanger? Let's do that.
Do that. Yeah.
So on my other podcast, Sex on Kava.
Right.
This last week, although by the time this airs, it'll be a couple weeks ago, but it's the season 2 premiere, episode 201. 2 for season 2, and then 01 for the episode. But I started renumbering them. Program note: I started renumbering the episodes of Sex on Kava. So it's episode 201, the season 2 premiere. Our guest is a Haitian comic named Paul Jumeus from Miami, really funny guy, and newsgirl Maymay on the podcast talks about how she doesn't believe in love, and she doesn't even think
she doesn't believe in love.
Yeah, she doesn't even think that love can really exist between people. She doesn't believe it.
Man, she's got to have a lot of baggage. That's.
Yeah, well, you were asking me about the 4th step and the 12-step recovery, and you're doing the 12 steps in only 10 weeks.
Right, I've combined things
for your sermon
it's faster
series.
And better.
Yeah, you just fix these loser, lazy alcoholics out there doing it in 12.
How bad they are about change.
Dragging their feet.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so
I get 10, and I think you'll like it.
So let's talk about that in the next episode. Okay. We'll talk about about the 4th step, and baggage, spiritual baggage, and other kinds of baggage. And does love really exist?
Yeah, I think that's good.
May put the question to me, and I think it does. But
well, don't go any further.
We'll have to give you the full answer in our next episode. Until then, Pastor, where can people find you?
You can get a hold of me at the Sanctuary Church, ftl.org. That's our website. And you, of course, you can hear us here on Jesus Christ That's Funny. That's
right. You can hear us here. You can, if you're listening to this, and I guess you are, if you're within the sound of my voice, one thing we would appreciate would be if you would
rate us.
Yeah, go on iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. That would really help us out.
That would be really nice.
Go on Stitcher. Click those stars for us wherever you listen. Just give us a rating, and also tell your friends.
Yeah, and if you want to, you can write us a note. Just pull out a 20 and go ahead and write something nice to us and send it to us here at 1400 North Federal Highway.
No, we only accept hundreds, actually.
Oh, is that what it is?
$100 bills.
And a large portion of it will go to help children.
Me.
Yeah, that's right.
A child at heart, young at heart. You can communicate with us for real if you want to by writing JesusChristThat'sFunny@gmail.com.
Right.
Send us a note. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat @EthanIsNotFunny.
That is great. I love it.
Yeah, because I'm not.
You are. You're very funny.
Well, it's ironic. All right. So until next time when we talk about love, I'm Ethan.